Hey guys, Tom from Tech Assault here, coming at you with a comparison video, and today we are going to be comparing the TN monitor versus the IPS monitor. Now this is a discussion I see talked about a lot, whether it be on forums, YouTube videos, or in my workplace, and I thought I'd make a video about it, just so it clarifies a few things that some people may or may not know about each technology. It's important to know that whatever one you guys choose, or whatever you're looking to buy, it's whatever suits you. They both have very valid reasons for purchasing them. And they both have cons. No technology is perfect, so we'll be discussing each of the issues that we have seen here and all the pros and cons. So starting with the TN monitor, we'll talk about the pros first. The first pro being a lower response time. So this is one more for gamers than workaholics. So a lower response time means that from the PC to the monitor is a quicker journey. And usually that is about 2 milliseconds in a TN monitor. It's hard to find one that is above 2 milliseconds. You can even get 1 millisecond monitors now, which is great. It is noticeable. Milliseconds sounds like it wouldn't be noticeable, but when you're moving a mouse and shooting someone and it's a battle of who shoots first, you're going to want a faster response time, and you can see that within the monitor. The next is the hertz refresh rate. The refresh rate refers to the hertz of the monitor. So usually a TN monitor comes at 60 hertz, same as an IPS monitor. But recently TN have been introducing 120 hertz monitors, 144, and 200 hertz. And what this means is if you own a 120 hertz monitor and you're running a game at 120 frames per second, you are going to see all 120 frames of that on screen. You are getting 120 frames a second. But if you have a classic 60 Hz monitor and you're running a game at 120 FPS, you are only going to see 60 frames of that because the monitor can physically only display 60 frames per second. This is a thing I see argued all the time. It's impossible. If the game is running 120 but the monitor can only show 60, you're only going to see 60. It doesn't matter how good your graphics card is. That's it. The other main benefit is for you budget builds, and that is the lower average cost. So for a TN 60 Hz monitor, you are looking about half the cost of a 60 Hz IPS monitor. And that's just because it's been around longer, it's easier to make, the technology's older, so yeah, everything about it is easier to make. IPS monitor is newer, everyone wants it, it's the brand new thing. It's like paying for a iPhone 5 when there's iPhone 6s out. The iPhone 5 is now cheaper. But why would you buy an iPhone? The cons of the TN monitor is the poor viewing angle and the color accuracy. So the poor viewing angle is essentially when you're not looking at the monitor straight on, the colors begin to fade to black. I don't really see the argument in this because as a gamer or someone working, you are always looking directly at the screen. I don't know why you'd look at it at a weird angle. The only reason I could think of is if you have a friend round and he's also viewing it or she's also viewing it and the colour's distorted. But I don't think that justifies spending an extra £100 on one. Colour accuracy is a big issue in cheaper TN monitors, but monitors like the Asus ROG Swift, the one I'm using at the moment, it is dead on as good as an IPS monitor. I've never had a TN monitor as good as this. But colour accuracy isn't a big concern of a lot of people, and it is hard to notice if you've never had an IPS monitor. I, coming back from an IPS monitor to a TN monitor, noticed how crap some of the cheaper ones were. But then when I came to this, it felt like I was right at home again. And this is a TN monitor still. Moving on to IPS, which stands for in-plane switching. There are lots of pros to an IPS. You've got the better viewing angles. As we talked about earlier, you've got better color accuracy, and that's just because of the LCD monitors. And this is a issue in its own because as an LCD monitor, to get the best color out of it, you have to configure it yourself, which is very difficult to do if you're just eyeballing it. So you need a piece of hardware that is better for tuning and calibrating the color. So that can be expensive in its own. The IPS monitor itself is very expensive, almost double the price of a TN monitor if you want a good one. You can get cheaper IPS monitors by all means, but what is the point in getting a crap IPS monitor when you could have got a better TN monitor at that price? If you're going to get an IPS monitor, I recommend spending at least £200 above, and then I'd recommend getting one of the Dell ones at that point. Dell makes some amazing IPS monitors. I never had an issue with them. It's the one I use all the time. A con is that it has a much higher response time. So we talked about this earlier. It's more than double the response time usually at 5 milliseconds. And it is a noticeable difference when gaming. When not gaming, completely fine, don't worry about it. So refresh rate in the IPS monitors is a little bit different. They haven't really reached the refresh rate height of a TN monitor, and that is because the way LCD monitors are configured, the technology is just always there for a bit of delay and ghosting, which can be an issue. It is noticeable, and I would recommend, if you're looking for the most accurate gaming time, get a TN monitor. Alright guys, so I hope this has cleared up some stuff. I know it was short and sweet, but I was just getting some of the main facts out of the way I see a lot of people trip up on. As I said before, purchase whichever one you like. I'd say if you're looking for a more visually pleasing experience, get an IPS one, but if you're looking to professionally game, I'd always get a TN monitor. They use TN monitors at championships when gaming. They rarely use IPS in gaming championships whatsoever, and that's for this noticeable reason. Alright guys, so if you enjoyed it, give it a like, subscribe, and as always, have a good day. Peace.